Imagine the cold of a long night on the water. Your muscles ache from throwing heavy nets for hours in the dark, and after all that labor, you have nothing to show for it. This is Peter's reality. He is a seasoned fisherman who knows these waters intimately, and he has given everything he has to his livelihood, only to come up empty-handed. Then, a teacher calls out from the shore, instructing these exhausted men to sail into the deeper water and cast their nets one more time. To the crew, the command ignores basic logic. They have spent their lives in these waters and know that casting into the deep in broad daylight contradicts their professional experience. Peter complies out of a sense of resigned obedience. He expects nothing to change, figuring they will simply return to the shore with the same empty nets. Suddenly, the ropes violently snap taut, the nets begin to tear, and the boat splinters under the weight of an impossible, massive catch. Peter's first instinct is not celebration, but a profound sense of his own unworthiness. He is terrified by the weight of what he is seeing. The teacher responds by telling him not to be afraid, promising that from now on, his catch will be followers of God. The men leave their nets behind, trading their old lives for a path that begins with the shock of a miracle they didn't ask for. The stakes soon move beyond empty nets and professional failure. The teacher encounters a man who has been blind since birth, a lifetime of darkness that seems permanent. While onlookers debate who is to blame for the man's suffering, the teacher states that the blindness exists so people can see the work of God. He restores the man's sight, providing a personal validation that changes his entire reality. The teacher's authority extends to unseen forces. The teacher confronts a man possessed by a legion of spirits, casting the darkness out and moving it into a herd of pigs. These events demonstrate a power that overrides both the physical limitations of the body and the hidden influence of spiritual darkness. This authority is tested in a physical storm. A violent sea threatens to drown the boat, leaving the disciples trapped in a struggle with death. Through the violent wind and the ocean spray, they see the teacher walking calmly on the surface of the water. Peter decides to test the limit of what he is seeing, climbing out of the safety of the boat to step onto the freezing, turbulent water. He walks successfully until his focus shifts. The moment he looks at the height of the waves and the strength of the wind, he begins to sink. As he is pulled back to safety, the teacher gives a simple rebuke. Peter fell because he allowed doubt to enter his mind. Staying above the waves requires Peter to look past the physical danger of the storm and maintain his focus on the teacher. The narrative eventually reaches the final human boundary. A man named Lazarus has been dead for 4 days, and the odor of death has already filled the tomb. Skeptics watch closely, whispering that the teacher was able to heal strangers, but failed to save one of his closest friends. Here, the momentum appears to stop. To the mourning crowd, a body sealed behind a stone is a permanent end that no teacher can change. The situation presents a final test. Can faith address the absolute finality of death? Standing before the tomb, the teacher prays that the crowd will understand why he is there. He looks past the stone and the skeptics to speak directly to the dead. He commands Lazarus to come out. The suspense breaks as the dead man walks out into the light, alive. While many are amazed, this act of grace brings on the wrath of the Pharisees. They see his closeness to God as a direct threat to their own standing. The Pharisees fear that if everyone follows him, their own influence over the people will vanish. For them, a miracle this significant is a challenge to their authority that they cannot ignore. Whether you are facing an empty net, a violent storm, or the end of a road, the invitation remains the same. You are called to abandon fear and step out of the boat.